Classes in PHP. Class is a keyword. add is the name of the class. It has a opening and a closing parenthesis to indicate the beginning and end of the class. We take two variables a and b inside our class and we give it an access specifier as public, which means these variables can be accessed outside the class. Now add is an object of class add. New is a keyword. I'll save this file as add.php and try to access it on the browser, which doesn't output anything. Since we have just created an object and not doing anything with the object we have just created, that is $add. Since $a and $b are public variables, using the object $add, I'll access the public variables a and b, which are 10 and 20 respectively. It doesn't make much sense to access it outside the class, so let's make it private. So this gives more security and makes some sense for using classes and objects. So here is it. If we try to access private variables outside the class, it must give an error. To access these private variables, we need to create functions or methods inside that class, and then using this keyword, which represents the object which is accessing it, using this access those private variables, and using the object call the function, that is add. It should give 30. So this is a nice looking abstraction. You need not know the code, just call the add method. Now we'll assign the values using a function. I'll call it set values. In order to assign values passed by the user, I'll take two parameters here, v1 and v2, and then assign these values to our private methods, that is $a and $b, using this keyword. It's a pointer variable, so assign values of v1 and v2 to its private variables a and b. Nice little abstraction. Now pass some values to set values method and it should set the values of a and b. Then call add method, which should add the values of the passed numbers. Using the object add, I'll invoke set values and then pass two parameters to it, 50 and 100. Next line of code, I'm calling the add method, which should return addition of two numbers, that is 50 and 100, which is 150. Let's look at in the browser. Yeah, it's working. Now separating the class and the application would make it look cleaner and is easier to maintain in larger projects. So I'll just cut this out, the processing part. I'll cut this out and make it a separate file. Let me call it as index.php. Before that, do not forget to include add.php file, which includes the class definition, without which this file, that is index.php, would throw a lot of errors. So we have included the class definition. In the next line, we have created the object called $add. In the next line, we are setting the values using set values method. In the next line, we are invoking the add method, which in turn returns the addition of two numbers which we pass it to set values method. So add.php class, it's like a template. If you see add.php, it doesn't output anything because it's just a class. We are not doing anything inside add.php. It's like a template. The actual processing is done in index.php, which is our application file. So let's see what we could do inside our application file, that is index.php. Without altering add.php file, we could write code and pass multiple values and add multiple values. I'll give 150 and 100, which should output 250. I'll include a line break here. Now it should output 150 and 250. Yeah, it's working. We could even create multiple objects. I'll create add 2. New is a keyword and add is our class name. I'll give 500 and 1000 now. It should output 1500. I'll include, see, we haven't altered our class. This now it's pointing to $add2. This keyword points to the whichever object it is being called from. I'll add a line break here. That's it. This is a simple object-oriented programming in PHP. Please do not ignore this, practice it, and in the next videos we'll look at slightly complex or else slightly large concepts. Please practice this, and for more notes about why to use object-oriented programming and why most of the applications on the web are still using the old school programming methods, please visit the notes on our blog technotip.com. For the link, visit below, link in the description section on the YouTube below this video. Please share this video with your friends on Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. And do not forget to like this video on YouTube. Thank you.